Period. I'm on live now. A highly rated African judge was yesterday jailed in the United Kingdom. A lot of people are still in shock. How did a judge who a few years ago people thought was going to become the next Chief Justice of her home country, how did this high-flying judge now end up in jail? Some people said it is karma. Why some people are saying that it is a judge's action that have landed her in jail. Judge Linda Magamba was a United Nations highly respected judge. This 50 years old mother has worked for the United Nations in Rwanda and other countries. And the UN, at one stage, she was using a United Nations diplomatic passport. Stand up while we upload the gist of how this judge fell from grace to grace. Frank is my name for those seeing my face for the first time. The Launch Club brings you the latest update about the daily lived experience of immigrants so that lessons can be learned and to educate our audience. Linda Magamba decided after many years of practicing as a judge in her home country, she decided that she wanted to improve her knowledge. Linda then decided to apply to come and study in Oxford, one of the best universities in the world. She was doing a PhD in Oxford. When Linda moved to the United Kingdom with her children, she then realized that the judge, with her status, she should not be doing the dirty house chores. She needed somebody who would be helping her at home to do the dirty house chores that a judge, from an African perspective, a judge should not be doing those kind of jobs. Linda then realized that there is only one obstacle to her plan. In order for her to bring somebody to come and work for her in the UK, she will need to have a sponsorship license to bring the person, which she doesn't have. Linda then realized that she has contact in her home country. She was very close to the people at the top. She then devised a plan to say, you know what? Since I do not have sponsorship to bring people to come and work in the UK, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call my old friend who works in my home country's embassy in London. She then called the friend who is John Leonard, who was the deputy ambassador then, and said, hello, John, I want somebody to come and do some work for me in my house as a housemaid, but I do not have sponsorship, so I will be relying on your help. John then said, okay, Linda, I will help you. However, I have a court case in my home country and I might be going to jail. So why not we do the old African saying, you wash my back and I wash your back. So I will help you to bring somebody to come and work for you in your house. Then you will speak to your contact to help them to drop the charges. The two of them said, deal done. So John Leonard brought somebody from their home country to come and work for the Linda. Meanwhile, the person that Linda insisted that they bring is the maid that worked for her in their home country that Linda knows, and the person knows Linda's children. The maid came to the UK and she was told that she will be working in the embassy. She was not told that she will be working as a maid in Linda's house in Oxford. The maid arrived in the UK and she was then driven to Oxford and told that your passport, we will hold it. This is where you're going to be working. You will not be working at the embassy. The maid was shocked. The maid then said she felt isolated by everything that was going on. The maid said her passport, she was isolated. She couldn't call anybody. She didn't know what to do. And she did not know how to handle this situation. There was no contract of employment signed. She did not get any contract of employment for the job. She said she was hardly paid any salary for what she was doing. The maid was complaining, but she didn't know what to do because she doesn't know her right. She's in a country where she was isolated in Oxford. She didn't have any contact with people that would have advised her to say, you know what, this is what you need to do. The maid said one day, she said she's had enough and she told people what was going on. Meanwhile, Linda has used her connection in her home country to make sure that the friend John Lennon did not go to jail. So why are we saying this now? Linda was only jailed yesterday. So when Linda was arrested, this is what Linda said.
I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention my question, something which later on in court,
Officer,
anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy. If you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
So, as you heard, when the police arrested Linda in her house in Oxford, Linda lied to them. She told them that she is a diplomat. She has immunity and therefore should not be prosecuted in the United Kingdom. The police then contacted the embassy straight away and said, can you please confirm if this person has immunity? The embassy was slow and the police then contacted the Metropolitan Police Diplomatic Corps unit who told them that Linda is not a diplomat. So the judge lied. She tried thinking. I want you to tell me whether you think that if Linda was living in an African country, whether this matter will even go as far as this. So Linda was then arrested, taken before the judge, and the evidence was presented. Sadly, Linda, who a few years ago, people were saying that Linda is going to become the next chief judge of her home country, was then found guilty yesterday in Oxford, and she will now be sentenced to prison. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from this. One, the way we treat the poor in Africa. I have seen people in Nigeria. You have somebody who is working for you as a house girl. The house girl will not be fed, and your children will be fed. The person who cooks for you, you'll be maltreating that person. The person who looks after your children, you'll be maltreating that person. Do you think that this house girl would have turned on Linda if Linda was treating this girl well? Some people have said the house girl was looking for a way to stay in the United Kingdom, and she realized that the only way to stay is to say Linda is abusing her, that the allegation that she made was fabricated. However, as we speak today, Linda and her supporters, they have not been able to present any evidence to show that this lady, she was given contract of employment and she was paid for the work that she was doing. If Linda had proof that she was giving this girl, she gave this girl contract of employment and she was paying her, the court would have exonerated Linda from what she has been sent to jail for. Imagine somebody a few years ago was projected to become the next chief judge of her home country, and now she is going to jail. The way you reflect as you watch this video. Do you see, when you see the poor back home in Africa, do you treat them the way you want to treat your children? Do you see them as human beings? We have to, whatever we wish for ourselves, we must also wish it for our neighbor. And if we start doing our bit by bit, this world will be a better place. I hope that someone can learn from the story of Linda. Abuse of power. You think that one day you will not be held accountable. It's only a matter of time. If you see any value in this content, kindly give it a like and share. Hopefully, we will learn from the story of Linda, who has fallen from grace to grass, and now she's going to jail, and she's not going to complete her studies in Oxford. Share this video and give it a like, and let me know what your views are in the comments section.